Tonight we return to the Teso sub-region that has been one of the most affected with the unpredictable changes in seasons, be it in the rain or dry seasons. The impact in this eastern part of the country leads to one thing: food shortage. When it rains too much, the floods wash away the gardens. I was in Teso about 2 weeks ago, shortly before the rain started falling again after a long dry spell, and the situation is dire. Even with the little rain so far, the gardens remain bare since the long dry soil needs a lot of water to soften it. What I will show you shortly are some of the heart-rending stories of people who have suffered silently for a long time. The last time Teso region suffered a famine about 4 years ago, children were severely affected and many suffered from kwashiorkor. An outcry by area members of parliament led to confrontation with the Line Minister of Disaster Preparedness and Refugees. The minister, Professor Teso, was accused of describing the people of Teso as lazy and that instead of working in the gardens, they spent time drinking ajono, a local brew popular in the region. Now, hardly 3 years since this unfortunate incident, a similar situation could recur.
So you are talking about areas of Ngariam, you are talking about areas of Toroma, you are talking about areas of even Usuk itself and parts of Ngomoja. Unfortunately, again, for these areas, the population is just returning to areas that they are not inhabited for years.
There is hardly any crop growing in the gardens. There are just a few dry cassava stems in some areas. Our journey to this hot and dry region began on this 200-kilometer rough and dusty road from Amuria district headquarters westward to Awelu village in Morungatu sub-county. With the help of the sub-county chairman and the water and sanitation officer, we are prepared for a rare experience. This fishing method is probably unique to this region. From a distance, one could be mistaken to think that this group of over 50 people are preparing the garden for the next planting season. This is not the case. A few months back, this vast land used to be a big swamp. It used to be a hot fishing spot as well. Now these people in my background are digging in a desperate search for fish. They probably had been digging for hours on empty stomachs to get something to eat for the day. And after such hard work all day, this is all the catch they could show. But probably the saddest story here is of this heavily pregnant woman hitting hard at an anthill. Like any pregnant woman, she could have had her cravings, but her case is different. She is looking for what to eat. Ordinarily, people also trap white ants from anthills like this one, but it's a different story today.
Let's move.
At last, she manages to locate a hole on the anthill that will lead her to the pathways of the termites. And it's just these termites she will have for supper. In her condition, it's recommended that such a woman eats a well-balanced diet, but there is hardly anything to eat here. The woman is clearly emaciated, a clear indication she has been struggling to find what to eat for some time.
The groundnut harvest was poor. Cassava was there, but it's finished.
This mother of 7, now expecting her 8th child, hardly has enough food in the granary to last till May when the rains are expected. When we arrived at the home, it was lunch hour, but this mother and her children had not eaten anything. However, she was lucky that one of her sons brought home this edible rat after a successful hunt in the wild.
We are just going to boil it the way it is. There is even no groundnuts to add.
You find people here are surviving on a meal a day, and not even a proper meal. Find them, maybe they are just serving on, potatoes. These dry potatoes, we normally dry them, because even the sauce getting here, it's a problem.
And this little red bird, shot down by this youngster, will serve as dinner for the huge family. The heart-rending stories of these families occasioned by the prolonged dry spell can be told and retold across Teso region. District leaders are now asking government and humanitarian agencies to urgently intervene before the situation gets out of hand.
As a sub-county chairman, I've written to the district and even to the office of the Prime Minister through the Minister of Disaster, especially to rescue the situation by sending food and later sending seeds.
Musa Ichweru, the State Minister for Disaster Preparedness, says the ministry will soon send food relief to Teso.
Certainly, we as a ministry, we are mobilizing emergency relief to cushion. We may not be able to get enough food to feed every family, but I have asked the chief administrative officers and in all these districts to identify those families that are badly affected.
Until then, and they all hope it could be tomorrow, these people will have to survive on the little they have to keep skin and bond together. Now, you will probably agree with me that even after the rains return, there are conflicting reports on how long it will fall. Earlier predictions from the Meteorology Department were that the eastern and northern regions would receive scattered rains, but see a dry spell to last till May. Shortly after, about a week ago, government issued another statement cautioning people to prepare for heavy rains. These predictions and many more to come may leave the farmers confused. However, for now, the people of Teso can only wait to see whether the weather patterns return to normal so that they can prepare for the next planting season. I'm Isabel Nakiria for NTV Connect.